Doing a video for Kijiji, I guess, and for Facebook for this 2008 chopper I have. I've had probably literally 60 people ask me a million questions, and I just don't have time to work full time and answer every question I get, especially since it's the same question. So everything that I've been asked is going to be put into this video. Every little flaw with this bike is going to be put into this video. So if you come here, there's no surprises. This is exactly what I've told you it is. I'm very straightforward and I'm very straight to the point. So if you want this bike, you'll know what you're getting. Come with cash, come with a Corvette, or come with a 2011 plus 5-liter Mustang. So right off the bat, this is a 2008 Altima 250 Softail frame. So this frame was bought used 2 years ago. And the first thing I actually should get to is one of the biggest questions that I've gotten from everyone is that they hear you can't insure a custom bike. This bike is insured. I pay $85 a month. I insured it. She said that she would give me a max of, I said the bike's worth, I've got over 30 into the bike. She said, well, we can insure it for $20,000, $85 a month, full coverage, 500 deductible at Pembridge. And as soon as I want to come up with an appraisal, get an appraisal done for more, I'm more than welcome to do so. So yes, you can get this bike insured. No, it doesn't cost any money. So there you go. Now, the next thing I guess to get to is the framework that was done on the bike, because to the untrained eye, I guess, I mean, you see a bike, there's a lot of detail work that started from the first day this frame entered the shop. So right off the bat, the frame was sandblasted. It was put in a frame jig and it was checked for straightness. The next thing that we did was we cut off the tank mounts because it just had an ugly tank on it. We cut off the oil tank mounts and we checked every weld, cleaned every weld, and we started laying out our wiring. So every hole that's in this bike for wiring has a TIG welded washer on it. So you don't see it, but basically that's gonna stop any cracking from ever happening. It's also gonna allow these wires to rub around all they want and not get frayed. Next thing was this tank. So this is a custom tank. It's been stretched for the bike. As you can tell, it fits the bike great. All the mounts for this tank are hidden underneath the tank, so you don't have to see the mounts. The next thing, the tank was obviously checked for leaks. The tank has a proper coating inside for a gas tank, and it does have a couple imperfections, which I'll get to. Now, the oil tank was also, it comes with a factory mount in the front there, and it's ugly, so that's been removed. There's a mount underneath the top here, all TIG welded onto that tank. The other thing that was done is all the ugly oil lines were taken off and all nice TIG welded AN fittings, as you can see. Like a lot of money was spent on that, and that is just really just another little detail to keep this bike just a clean looking bike and have it looking nice, have it looking the way I want it. So get over to the front end, because the front end is the big used item on the bike. Okay, and it drives me nuts. It was one of those things where I was well over 20,000 into this, and I just didn't want to spend anymore. So there is a couple marks in this front end. You know, most people don't notice them. I sure as hell notice them. This whole front end was disassembled. There's new bushings in it and there's new seals in it. It performs like a new front end. It's only got 2,000 kilometers on it, but it does have marks on it, as well as the handlebars. You know, you can see some marks in the chrome. So those are some of the used items on this bike. The front end, the front rim is brand new. It was just put on. I had to wait several months to get it in. The front rotor is brand new. It was also just put on. The front caliper is a 4-piston front caliper with a custom bracket off a Gixxer. I guess moving on to your hand controls. So no cheap shit. This is all brand new, and this whole wiring harness for the bike is all plug and play, proper, you know, how you're supposed to do it for a chopper. There's no soldering, there's no open breakers, there's no open fuses. Everything in this bike is all plug and play module as far as the wiring is concerned, so that you'll never have issues with it. It's cleanly done. It bolts and unbolts together. So obviously you got your run. It's just like a normal bike. You got your start, you got your high and low, you got your horn. It's off right now. And brand new master cylinder, brand new clutch. I guess moving on from there, we can go on to the tank itself. So I said there's some imperfections in it. So really, the guy did an amazing paint job. I spent really good money on the paint job. Unfortunately, several months after I got it back, when it came time to start assembling this bike for the final time, I noticed he taped these off just a little too much. So I threw these used flush caps on it. Obviously caps aren't that expensive. And that was basically, I was trying to find something to cover that. So most people don't notice it. I definitely notice it. Next problem. There's a chip in the clear right there. And that was just my fault putting on the tank. I dropped something on it when we were assembling the bike. So those are the two problems with the tank. And the last thing on the tank is the petcock here. I threw the first petcock I had on, unfortunately leaked, and underneath there, the paint's a little screwed up. No one sees it, but it's there. Front fender's perfect, nothing wrong with it. Really nice paint job. Slight metallic and pearl in the paint. The frame, once it was completed and we were ready for reassembly, the frame was professionally powder coated. It's a nice durable dark black finish, and there's no metallics in it, it's just a gloss black. Same with the rocker covers. This engine mount is one-off, custom, and as you can see, everything's hidden. The horn's hidden. You know, I didn't want anything hanging off of this bike, so all that's hidden under there. It's all custom made. Onto the engine. So the engine was also another big ticket item. This isn't, it isn't a Chinese engine, and it isn't just a shit engine. So this engine was built by DynoFab in London, Ontario. Really great engine builder, great guy. Starting with the head, so those were JP Racing heads. He put brand new valves in them, all custom cut. Brand new valve springs, brand new valve seals. Clean the whole heads up. Like I said, they're ported by JP Racing in Quebec. The intake, as you can see, this is kind of a custom setup. So it's got extreme anal carb on it, dual throat carb. And this whole intake is one-off, Canon filter, CNC machined. A bad that I haven't had an opportunity to get yet is obviously here you have a really nice stainless steel bolt. It's a 1024. Right here we have these ones. So that's just something I haven't gotten to yet. I think it's about 25 cents in bolts. Back onto the motor. So it's bored 20 over jugs. And we got S&S stroker pistons, 10.5 to 1 compression in it. 4 5/8 stroke on the motor. And so obviously the flywheels and the rods are 4 5/8. Rolling Thunder Evil 30 cam, sift and pump, all brand new, obviously. New lifters in it, adjustable push rods. The nose cone, unfortunately, it got chipped or whatever. I think it was just a faulty powder coating job. So there is some chips in it. It's not really a big deal. Again, one of those things I noticed that maybe a lot of people would. Charging systems, all brand new Ultima. Brand new forward controls with the brakes. Brand new transmission, 6-speed. Brand new starter. Brand new low profile shocks on the bottom there. Brand new belt drive, and not with the factory or the standard clutch that comes with Ultima, with the upgraded clutch. So moving on, I guess, to the back of the bike. So King spoke rim has more miles on it in the front. You know, it's clean. It's pretty clean. It needs a good polish. Tires are both like new. The swing arm, when the frame was getting set up when we had in the jig, everything was cut off of this side and made room for a pulley brake on this side just to keep that open look. So this is all custom CNC, nothing else like it, one off. You got a 4-piston caliper down there, and obviously license plate bracket. So you got the 3, I believe it's 3 and 3.35 belt drive on it. Makes a really nice whine. I love it. A lot of people are concerned that you're gonna get, you know, your pant leg or anything caught in it. You're not. The forward controls are up there. You're never gonna get hurt by this. I've had no issues in 2,000 kilometers of riding it. The only thing is at lower kilometers, it slightly pulls to the left. Or sorry, I should say at a lower speed, it slightly pulls to the left. It's just kind of an offset for having a big cool drive on it. You know, the seat, it's not one of these ugly frickin' sponge seats. It's a custom fitted seat, a nice seat. Comfortable seat, and there's a big gap right here. That's just because I have it sitting a little bit high. Obviously, when you're sitting on the bike, well, even when it's just sitting, it's nice and tight. I'm 220 pounds, so that gives you an idea. Obviously, it can also be adjusted for the rider. Headers are something I threw together just because I liked them. I couldn't find a set of headers I liked. It's the Speedo. So your ignition is under here. There's a key for it. And it wasn't one of the cheap ignitions, it was one of the high dollar ones. It says it has 194 miles on it, and that's because I just kind of got that working. It doesn't have 195, so obviously high beams, your low beams, your horn, run. It might be a little cool, I had running about an hour ago. But, the motor, we had it on the dyno just for a light tune to make sure it wasn't running lean. Make sure it was okay, and it made 91 wheel horsepower, I believe, and that was real rich. So it will be put on the dyno. It's a complicated carb. There's a specialist coming in to tune it, and it's expected to make well over 100 horse, which for a Harley is just crazy. And I mean, with the stroke in it, this thing just, it's got a lot of lore and torque in it. So that hopefully should have answered every question that anyone could possibly have on this bike. So I am looking for a Mustang, 2011 Mustang 5 liter, or possibly an older Corvette. Nothing kind of older than a 2000-ish body style. Definitely an LS in it. And the last question, why are you selling this bike? And the 100% honest answer is because I work a shitload of hours. I have a wife that is not able to ride with me, and I just feel guilty riding this silly thing without hanging out with her. So it's kind of bittersweet, but if I can get myself into a car that, you know, a street car, because I have too many race cars, a nice street car her and I can enjoy together, that's kind of the goal here. So I do have about 30,000 of this bike. I'm not expecting to get 30,000 out of the bike, but please don't even waste your time with lowball offers, because when I go in the house, I think I should sell the bike, and then I come out here and look at it and I think I should keep the bike. So I'm not really ready. I'm not going to give it away anyway. So I'm looking for realistic. I've looked at the other choppers on Kijiji. I have not seen one built like this or clean like this. I've seen a lot of stupid ones with stupid handlebars and stupid rakes on them and dumbass seats on them and wiring everywhere. That's not what you're getting with this bike. Every little problem with the bike, I mean, if someone wants to buy this bike, spend maybe $4 grand to have it like a perfect bike, throw some sort of crazy paint job on it, and throw a new front end on it, and I mean, you got a really nice bike. I think it's a really nice bike as it is. I mean, this is a rider's bike. You can ride this bike all day. You can ride it wherever you want, and you're comfortable. I mean, it gets attention wherever I go. I like get a crowd on it. It's an awesome bike. So, and I mean, it's been a couple years building it, and it's been a substantial amount of money. So, not looking to give it away. If there's anything I didn't cover, also, I'm literally trying to make sure I cover everything. That wire right there is for tuning it. It's for the oxygen sensor. It's not going to be there once the bike's tuned. There's going to be a little plug in there. If the bike ever needs to get retuned or anything changes on it, you're basically, any tuning shop with a dyno is able to just pop that in. And this thing, I mean, anyone wants to come here and you have cash in your hand, we will pop off whatever you want to see in that motor. If you're not confident that it is what I say it is, you got cash in your hand, I will not only pop it apart, but I will put it back together. And if you want to hear it on the dyno, anyone's welcome. Again, cash on the hand, we'll throw it on the dyno. I mean, you can listen to it. This thing is just violent on the dyno. It's really, really awesome. Kind of just sucks I got to get rid of it, but I guess you got to do what you got to do. So Again, contact me, please, if you have any more questions that I haven't covered. If you're not interested, well, or you don't have the cash, well, thanks for looking at my video, I guess. I get to show off the bike I built. Thanks.